Evening all, and welcome to the latest edition of the Man United Brothers podcast. As always, I am joined by my co-host Thomas McClements. How are we, Thomas?
I'm in a much better mood than I was a few hours ago, that's for sure.
Yeah, mate, it started off not so good. Um,
Around about
and
five, around about 5 o'clock, I was ready to. Well, my phone went down the garden. I nearly put my face through the TV. It was the whole thing was going Pete Tong like.
yeah, I think my wife is about to throw me out. To be honest, I was cracking up at that fucking refereeing decision, like, which I'm sure we'll get into. Um, so yeah, where do you want to start?
It's a tough one. It's so strange. Like the whole first 30 minutes of that game, I text you saying I don't really know what's going on. It didn't feel like we were doing well. We weren't playing well, but we weren't playing terrible because it's not like they had loads of chances. It was just a really bitty 30 minutes of just nothing. Like we'd have it, we'd give it away cheaply. They'd have it, they'd give it away cheaply. Everything looked. It wasn't cagey because when you're cagey, you have little things don't work, but just nothing was working anywhere for anyone. It was just the strangest 30 minutes of football I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was a shit match for 30 minutes. It was a shit match. Um, like you say, they didn't want to do anything. We didn't want to do anything. And it was like Ollie said it looked like we'd played in Europe on Thursday night, and that's probably the best way to sum it up, although I don't know if that's an acceptable excuse. But it was like we just weren't sure whether to stick or twist.
Yeah, but not being funny. That's how we've been the first half in at least 50% of our matches this season. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
very
it's
true.
not a Europa League thing. I think it's, in fairness, actually, if you go back, it would be interesting to see if those games where we, in the first half, we weren't switched on, if it was after a Thursday night every time. But I don't believe it would have been. I just think there's something in our mentality that the first half we don't want to show our hand too early, so we don't. We don't do
It's
anything.
it's strange because you'd think if we did, we would, if we turned up like that and played like that from the start, um, then well, surely we would blow teams away.
You would think so, but then we'd also leave ourselves open at the back, and we don't want to do that. Even though the biggest risk about leaving yourself open is you concede, but we concede anyway, and then we go open. It's just weird. It's strange, like. But for the first 30 minutes, that's the type of game it was, and then we had a great bit of interplay. McTominay with a great ball through to, I think it was Pogba. Pogba was past to Cavani. Cavani run, exceptional, and then what a goal! And that at that
Mm.
moment was the closest I've ever came to turning off a football match and just saying I'm done. I'm absolutely done with football in general in its entirety.
Yeah, I think that was the undertone of my outburst as I was absolutely cracking up. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. Well, I was waiting for him to look at the offside because I thought, is he tight? And then says, "Fuck, is a mile on? This is a goal."
Mm.
And then obviously it said the ref to come over. Like, I know we've talked about VAR before, right? So the point of VAR is clear and obvious error. So are you telling me that was there's nothing clear and obvious there about that? The fact of the matter is, Son, the wee fucking cheating prick,
No,
and
let's
let's all
stop
these.
there. No, no, no.
Oh,
Before you
here
go
we
any
go.
further, right? Yes, he is. He did cheat there. There's no doubt about it. But players do it. Bruno Fernandes done it a couple of times in the match. Rashford done it. Players do it. So I'm not going to dig out Son straight away for it and say he's a disgrace. It was a joke what he done, without a doubt. But let's not take our focus off what the main issue was, which is VAR. VAR. Yes, the players. It's the player's job is to win decisions, and it's to try and sway VAR, the ref, whatever it is. It's the system needs to be set up right to make the right decision and to overrule what the player, not even overrule, but to see through what the players are trying to do. So yes, Son's a dickhead, but we have players to do the same thing. So that's just my 2 cents on that.
Nah, I'm not buying it. Right? Yes, we do. Right? Bruno did it a couple of times after that. Rashford won. He was kicked and he was fouled. I don't know why he held his face. I don't know if he got a brush in the face. He didn't see it again. I was when it showed you the replay, it was at his feet. It didn't see anything happen to his face, so I don't know. But what should happen there is if that doesn't, if the referee dictates how that happens in terms of if the referee from the start sets out a stall, I'm not going to accept that bullshit. Get on with playing. Then players don't do it. So yes, we're in a culture of it happening a lot, but a referee can still control that match. And let's just control this. Let's look at this one specific match. referee makes a decision that that's bullshit. There's nothing to look at there. That's absolutely fine. Then other players go, oh, fuck right. There's no point in trying to do that because the one Bruno went down, he was kicked, and he's only went down. I've no way of proving it or whatever. But if that one that was given against McTominay hadn't been given, Bruno doesn't go down there because he thinks there's no point because we're not getting that. They're stupid wee things that happen all the time across the pitch. But the referee doesn't take that decision, and then all of a sudden it's a free for all. Any player getting touched in goes, oh, well, I'm going down because I'll get it.
Yeah, but all you're doing there is justifying it. There is no justification behind it. The fact is, it happens and players do it, and you got to accept that. As a football fan, I accepted that a long time ago. I don't like it. I'm not going to dig players out for it. I'm going to say you're a dick, and that's it, and move on with it. The biggest problem there is VAR. How VAR overruled that, how the referee went and looked at it, all of the above was from the moment it happened to the referee giving the free kick was all just disgraceful. All of it was a joke. Like, it's not clear and obvious, like you said, so why is he even looking at it? It took 3-4 minutes for him to go and look at it, and then why is McTominay not getting a yellow card? Because it was accidental. But sure, how can it be a free kick then if it was accidental? The whole thing was just ridiculous. And so you got to take it away from what Son done and from what any of the players do. You got to look at what VAR is doing. Now, on VAR, I didn't see any football yesterday. I didn't watch Match of the Day, so I know all the scores, but I didn't see any controversy. But apparently there was a big VAR controversy yesterday.
In Liverpool's game?
I don't even know what game it was. I
No,
don't.
it was Liverpool's.
But what I do know is I've seen Jeff Stelling saying that he has friends, people who he knows, footballing people who don't watch the Premier League anymore. They'd rather watch Championship football, and they do everything they can to watch the Championship over the Premier League now because of VAR. No other reason, because of VAR. And like I said, I was very, very close to turn the TV off today.
Well, there's two things in that, and I'll go back to Son in a second. But on the VAR and Sterling and Jeff Stelling and watch the Championship on a Saturday now. What I'll do is whatever I'm doing, if it's with the wife and the children in the morning or whatever, or working or doing whatever, and then at 3 o'clock, same as yesterday, I sit in front of the TV and put on Sky Sports News where you watch the Championship and the goals that are coming in. So I could have watched the Liverpool Villa match, but I put that on because it shows you the goals, shows you some of the play that's happening during their matches, and it's just far more exciting. It's interesting when you watch it because you see a goal scored, and then you're going, all right, well, what are they going to check? If he left a bit offside or that, and then you go, oh no, they're not doing that. This is football, and they're just playing. So the Liverpool one was called. It was an offside given. I don't know how it was given. I was laughing when it was given because it's laughable, like it's laughable, and obviously it didn't want Liverpool to get the goal. So that made it probably me just sort of go, that's dead on and not worry too much about it. But when you look at it really in the cold light of day and you're judging VAR as a whole, there's no way. I don't know how they managed to say it was offside, even with the lines and all the rest of it. And then they were looking at if the defender, who I can't remember his name, the right back is for Villa Taggart or something, whatever he's called. They were looking to see if he touched the ball, which again made no fucking sense. So the Liverpool player played the ball across. He went to kick it, the Villa defender, but missed it. And then it went to the Liverpool player. And they were looking at it to say, well, if he touched it, then it would be okay. It wouldn't be offside. I'm like, well, how's that fucking possible? Because he's offside from the original. If he's offside from the Liverpool pass. Nothing to do with the Villa player touching. And he's not, like, it's an accidental touch. So it's just complete bollocks. But back to the one today. What I will say is, I get your point of VAR and everything else, but I'll still say Son's a fucking dickhead. Like, what happened there was Son grabbed McTominay. So Son tries to stop McTominay, and McTominay's trying to brush him off in a natural motion as he moves forward, and that's his hangs back. The fact that Son went down, yes, players do that, but the fact he stayed down for 3 fucking minutes, had his whole team around him, had the physio come on, it was like he'd been fucking shot in the head. I would love someone to smack him in the fucking mouth. Let's only this super nice guy and all. Someone smack him in the fucking mouth. See how long he stays down? Because that's what he needs, a smack in the mouth to wise up. Yes, you've got the free kick. Okay, get up. That's what players do. If you're going to say that's what they're doing, I still don't agree with any of it. But he really took the absolute piss out of it to make sure. It felt like he was staying down to make sure that there was forcing a decision, to force VAR to say, well, ref, you go and check it. And that's what happened. And they all balled it, and it was a joke.
Do you sometimes feel like if you shout louder and faster and erratically that your point will be better made?
No, I just get annoyed. I was so disgusted at it.
I am only joking, obviously. But what I would say about that is, right, I'm a fan of Son, so I used to be that did put me off a bit today. But can you remember a time in previous seasons where a player as honest as Son has done something like that? And just a yes or no answer. Can you remember Son specifically doing that sort of behaviour? Because I can't. I can't at all. So there's one factor and one reason why he would have done that. And there's no doubt in my mind. It's the same reason why I think Aurier left the boot in on Shaw in the last couple of minutes. Same reason Højbjerg leaves a little arm in. Jose Mourinho is disgusting. He gets his players to do that. It's the same as when Real Madrid got all those yellow cards. At the time, it was genius because it was something that no one would normally do. And you look at it, but realistically, it was just that was incredibly unethical and against what football is all about. But that is
It's an interesting way.
he gets his players to do that. And then you wonder, well, why do players not buy into Mourinho? Because he makes players like Son, honest players who work hard, who've done national service for their country. Probably has nothing to do with it, but do you know what I mean? He's an honest guy, and all of a sudden he's doing that because Jose Mourinho. Why have Spurs give away so many leads at halftime and lost? Why are a Spurs team with all the talent that they've got not winning every game? Jose Mourinho. Everyone's blaming the players. I've seen Keane blaming the players. It's Mourinho. The players don't want to play for him because they don't want to do the shit that he's getting them to do.
That's interesting, actually. I never really thought of that factor in terms of Mourinho trying to get players to do that, and that's probably a lot of the reason for them doing it. You're right, and maybe why Son stays down so long. But sometimes players got to be a bit bigger and that, and just go, well, "Fuck me, I'm not like that," and get up and get on with it. But the interesting thing was Mourinho at the end saying that they were done by VAR. He's blamed. This is hilarious because Graham Souness would love this. He's blamed Paul Pogba on Spurs getting beat. He said Pogba should have been sent off for the elbow on Aurier. The guy is fucking head's gone, mate. He's fucking done.
Even see that. I know there was a
Yeah.
big issue over there, but I didn't even in the replay. I didn't even see anything that was.
Pogba had his arm, but was coming round, and Aurier ran into it. It just happened to be Aurier's at the wrong height. It wasn't an elbow thrown at him. His arm was here. Aurier more ran into it because of the height as Paul Pogba turned around. Literally, if Aurier is a foot taller, it's nothing.
Well,
But it just happens to be the height.
That's what I was going to say because when it happened, the commentator did say the difference is between a tall guy and a small guy. But again, I just thought, oh, he's obviously just the same that happens in every game where
Yeah.
touches you. But if he said that, maybe he's an absolute.
Oh, is Mourinho's words. My opinion was we didn't deserve this result at all. We were unlucky because maybe Pogba should get a red card for an elbow on Serge Aurier. That's what Mourinho said.
So in fairness, he is judging it on the red card that Martial got. So
Yeah, fuck's sake. Yeah, but mate,
back when we played him at OT.
so he, as far as I'm concerned, and the last thing was focus on them because, and I'll mention what you said about Keane in a second, but as far as I'm concerned, Mourinho's done. Like they were talking about it after Keane and Redknapp and oh my god, Mickey Richards, couldn't remember his name. We're chatting about it and they're saying about Keane was saying he'd give him another year or so to get it and all, and Redknapp saying about the team's good and all this. He's done. He's a spent force. He's absolutely done, and his style of management just doesn't exist anymore. And you can be that dirty and do all that, but you don't get away with it now. You know, it just doesn't work. Especially if a team are cute to it and smart to it, which we don't want to see in terms of either side of that coin, where teams are just going down and trying to get it. But
when it comes to that argument about that team, and I know we're here to talk about United, but it's so hard not to talk about Mourinho because he is a big draw. But I seen Keane and he was saying that it's the players over the manager. My simple answer to that is imagine Bielsa. And there's so many managers you could choose, but I'm choosing Bielsa because of probably what they done yesterday. But imagine him with those Tottenham players. I think Spurs would be phenomenal. I think they'd be a hell of a lot better. They'd probably be sitting in fourth, maybe third. They'd be doing much, much better because they'd love playing for him. They'd commit for him. Those players commit to their managers like they do.
Yeah.
They've done it from Poch up until the end. Whatever happened behind the scenes, we don't really know. Mourinho hasn't got the players on side. Gareth Bale should not be sitting on the bench. It was only 4 years ago. Was it 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago? Gareth Bale came off the bench in the Champions League final and scored 2 goals. One was one of the best goals I've ever seen. Like he has not deteriorated that much as a player.
No. I mean, it's only 4 weeks ago he was showing that in the league. He came on, scored, then he started, scored. You know, he was flying, and then Mourinho drops him again. I mean, it makes no sense. But he's done. But the other thing I say on Keane, the point about Keane is he's an ex-manager, and he said it himself. He says, "Look, I'm a manager, and I'll always say that managers should get more time." And he will. To be fair to him, his point about the players, it is an average team. The two defenders at centre back. When I seen them in the team sheet, I was like, "Fuck me, we should be getting at these two." Dyer's not actually a centre back in my mind. He's a defensive midfielder, and Roden's a young lad. He's just starting out. He's not ready for it. Aurier doesn't know how to fucking defend. I don't think Aurier knows how to tie his laces. And Serge Regulon on the other side, very good going forward and okay defensively, but again, not very good defensively. And then that prick Holberg in the middle, he's another fucking bell end too. He's just a wee. We've talked about him on Thursday night. Says a workhorse, he run around. He was fucking bollocks, and he's just a wee prick.
He's stealing 11. He's not a good footballer, but
Stealing 11, stealing 11. But
he should be playing for one of these teams that are in a relegation battle. He should still be at Southampton. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how he's managed to get, but it's for the same reason why Fellaini's going to come from China and play for Tottenham, because Mourinho is just a.
Yeah, it's just the type of player he likes. But the thing was,
I'll stop talking about them. Let's talk about our.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. The thing was, from our point of view, was that we overcame all that bullshit, and even the controversy it felt like for about 5 or 10 minutes after the goal, after we'd scored and it was disallowed, we let that affect us, and we just stopped. It was like we were like, fuck this. It was almost like the players thought, what's the point in this, and it stopped, because that goal, we can see it was, Lindelof. Have praised him a lot recently. He missed that, mate. He should clear that. He should clear that all day, mate.
Yeah, do you know what? I thought that initially, but the more you see it Kane has hit it fast across him, and it's not so much that he's got his position wrong. He just hasn't got his leg up as quick as what you'd like him.
Yeah, but you've got to block that.
He was a little bit off balance. He probably should have done a little bit more, but yeah, it was unfortunate, really. But do you know what? Yeah, no, it was. But apart from that, I thought he'd done well for everything else. But it put me off because I wanted to speak about Henderson. I love him. Absolutely love him.
Oh, mate, yeah. Couple of really good saves.
And then you could just hear him commanding everything, shouting at everyone. It was just incredible, like, brilliant. And then even down to the point where, and this is where he makes the difference instead of De Gea, there's a ball came through to him. It would have been easy for him to pick up, and probably your first thought would be just pick it up, because you've still got Spurs players all around you. He takes it takes it out to the edge of the box, or away from the goal, and waits. And I just thought, that's what we need, a bit of composure. He just knows football, and he's just, oh man, I just love him. I think he's incredible.
What I actually seen in him and thought that's why he has to be our number one and stay as our number one was, yes, he'd made the good saves and all, which is great. But I'll be totally honest, De Gea would have made them saves. I would have expected De Gea to make them saves, right? Yeah. The difference for me, the communication was one thing, because you could hear him and he was screaming and shouting at everything, which was brilliant. And not just screaming and shouting for the sake of it. It was, it was coherent, correct information he was given. But the other thing was, there was 2 or 3 times there was balls played in behind Harry Maguire, and it was Harry Kane coming onto it. And it was in that position of Kane was going to beat Maguire to it for pace, because Maguire's not fast. But the difference was Henderson's starting point, and he came out and cleared it 2 or 3 times, just hoofed it up the field from his starting point. De Gea doesn't do that for me. De Gea doesn't. He's more in his box. He'll wait until Kane gets it. And don't get me wrong, he might make a great save, because a lot of time he is good on one-on-ones. But when you've got Harry Kane facing you, that's a big fucking risk to take. You come out and clear that out, and then you don't have that problem. And that's what made me think he's bang on. Like, he knows exactly where he's at. And like you say, football-wise, switched on to what's happening.
Were you like me? The first time he came out to clear it, you're a bit like, "Oh my god, what's happening?" Because we're not.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Goalkeepers do that, and then every time.
Oh shit myself.
It was like, "This is brilliant." He's
the first one was over to the right. I think it was Wan-Bissaka. Someone got in behind Wan-Bissaka, and it was coming, and you're going, "Fuck me, Henderson's coming out. Where's he going?" And they just cleared it, and there was no bother. And then it was like, "Oh right, he knows where he's at." That was dead on. That actually was much better than what would have happened. So yeah, it breeds confidence, I think. And that showed.
Shaw, as usual, fantastic. Some of his crosses, mate, were just ridiculous. The cross into Bruno where Pogba should have scored.
Unbelievable.
It was, what a cross. So he was phenomenal. There's not much else to say about him. Maguire, I think Maguire got nervous playing against Harry Kane. I think because and Kane is good. I mean, we put 2 players on Kane for every goal kick, and he still won every header.
Yeah.
Baffling, but you got to give it to Kane. He is pretty good, but. For the most part, I think he done all right. Same with Lindelof. Yes, he could have got that ball, but in general terms, he done okay. Wan-Bissaka.
Much better, I thought, today. I thought first half he wasn't great. Yeah, first half he wasn't great. And it was like the second half, he was just told, do you want to go and play football, son, and maybe show us what you can do? I think it was actually who was in co-commentary, Neville, was it? I can't even remember
Yeah, yeah.
now. Had said that it's United's increase in performance in the second half started with Wan-Bissaka for the first couple of minutes of the second half because
Mm-hmm.
he all of a sudden was getting down the right hand side. Now, don't get me wrong, he still lacks the quality of getting ball in the box at times, but
He was trying to get the ball in the box. That was
yes,
the
that's
difference
what I was
for
going to
me
say.
because normally he
Yeah,
would be down there in those positions all the time, cut back in that
yeah,
position, cut back, and not
yeah,
cut back himself as in pass it back to a McTominay or someone else. Today he was doing both. He was getting across
yeah,
in, then passing it back, getting across in, and yes, some of the crosses weren't great, but it kept them playing. It didn't make it so easy to defend against. So I actually
yeah.
was really, really pleased with him. That's exactly what I want to see from him.
Yeah, no, I thought he was. He was much better going forward. Defensively, it was strange defensively because second half he didn't really. I don't think he really got tested too much second
There was
half
a couple of
defensively.
last ditch ones, wasn't there, in the box where he made a
Yeah,
tackle and a block, I think, but he had to make the tackle because he missed the header, I think, something like that. He had
yeah,
to run back. He made the tackle where he kind of held your breath because it was another
yes.
tackle in the
It was in
box,
the box.
and then he
Yeah,
jumped up and followed it up again. So, very, yeah, I thought he was brilliant.
yeah, he did all right. Did all right.
McTominay and Fred.
Mate, this is so hard. Like Fred is just a fucking enigma. Like I just can't figure this boy out. I said on Thursday night after Thursday night's match, I don't know why, but we miss Fred. After the first half, I thought I don't know why I'm even fucking saying it. After the second, I was like, I can see why we miss Fred because he doesn't stop, and he got that goal for a play to him. He doesn't usually follow into the box,
He
and he
almost
scored. He nearly missed it, yeah, but he still got there. So give him credit for that. Alan Weir texted me straight away. He was very excited. The Fred fan club was loving life. But he makes a difference. And I don't. I think he's shit, right? Because he still was taking the ball, kicking it out of play. Like at least four times I remember, he just kicked the ball straight out of play when he's trying to pass our play. And you're like, what in the fuck are you doing? But he makes a difference in there. And that's mental to say, but he does.
But I think first half, yes, he gave it away all the time and just on. He was Hoiberg in the first half, basically. Do you know what I mean? Just bang average, stealing a living. Second half, he reminded me of like I don't. I can't even think of someone like a Seedorf or a Gattuso. No,
Fuck off.
no, he wasn't. But he was brilliant. He was brilliant, and that was a joke. I'm not really comparing him to those players, but
I know,
he
I
was
know.
phenomenal. He was winning the ball, giving it to the person he needed to, and he was everywhere. He was
I
just
know.
everywhere. He was everywhere so much that any time he went to make a tackle, I was thinking, "Oh fuck, he's going to get another yellow card."
Yeah, mate, that's what I was really
He
worried about.
stayed on his feet. He made the
Yeah.
tackle. He didn't dive in. He was brilliant.
Uh, uh,
And same
And you
thing.
see,
Sorry, go ahead.
it was just because I see for Fred, right? The goal he scored, yes, it's a save off the keeper, and he's done well to follow up, and he tried his best to miss it. But before that, the build up to Cavani's chance,
Hmm.
Fred played 1-2-1-2, and
Yeah.
it ended up being 1-2 because it came off the keeper and he scored. But it was fucking delightful. He picked it, Bruno back, Cavani keeper in, and you're like, fuck me, where did he learn to do that? You know, like so. I'll give him credit for that because he did all of a sudden. He was fine in the wee passes and in that wee tight space, and it was really nice play.
Again, it was a bit like the Wan-Bissaka thing. All of a sudden, he got confidence from somewhere. And it was like he
Mm,
believed in himself. He went and done it. But McTominay for me was similar. First half, he was really poor. I guess it was just everyone was. But second half, I thought McTominay was brilliant.
Yeah, he was much better. Like he was more composed, making better tackles. Again, he was booked. I messaged you 3 or 4 times saying, "Oh, McTominay and Fred need to come off their risk here. This is fuck it. We need to get them off. We need to get either one or both of them off." Because I was worried one of them was going to get sent off. But again, McTominay, like you say, staying his feet, was making the tackles well, passing it well, and just a much better second half.
They swapped roles really well as well. They so one would go forward, one would stay back.
Yeah,
Not even stay that far back, but you know what I mean. The one could commit and one would try and clean up, and they'd done it so effortlessly. Well, we wouldn't have got caught out, which was nice. I think we might have got caught out once, but we can accept that. Um, what do you think of Bruno then?
Bruno today. He showed glimpses of what he could do. He had a shot that was unbelievable. A couple of passes as well. The pass into Pogba. We'll talk about him after, but that flick was interesting. Um, and he had a couple of moments to show you how good he is, but he was frustrating at times. I suppose very much in the same ilk as a lot of players in the first half. Just frustrating. You're just going, you're better than that. What the fuck are you doing?
I thought he
And then he sort of turned it up in the second half.
I thought he was, yeah. there was times where you want him to do more, but in the second half, when everyone was moving more, his role became a lot more a move around and create space for everyone else. Because if you've seen it, Pogba was picking up in the middle, Pogba was picking up on the right, Rashford was picking up in the middle. That was all facilitated by Fernandez moving as
Yeah,
well. So all of that
yeah,
creativity between those front three, front four, was that made a hell of a difference. So I actually think he done really well in the end. And Hoiberg, which is the one thing he is good at, was bang on him
yeah,
most of the game,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what he does. That's the type of player he is. So credit there for him. But yeah, I thought he just done all right. He'd be probably like
Yeah, he did okay. Probably a 6 out of 10 today.
yeah,
Oh, you're being nice.
yeah, I am nice. So Rashford was pretty non-existent first half. Second half done a little bit more when he can come into the middle, but what
Still injured, mate, for me.
he doesn't
Still
look
injured.
like it on the right either, does he?
No, and he's just not playing. He's just not fit, and you can see it. He's just not at the peaks of his power. And if you don't have him at the peak, he seems to. It's almost like he knows that, if that makes sense. So when he's running, it's kind of just holding back a bit almost, and that's just difficult for him. It's not necessarily it's holding back. It's maybe they just can't give it all because he's still feeling that ankle or whatever. So
Why does
Thursday
he?
night he must be rested.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Why does he not take a shot with his left foot? That
No
Greenwood
idea.
one that
Yeah,
he popped up on the left for one of the first times. He's in a great position to go right across the keeper, far post.
yeah.
Doesn't hit it. You
I
just think
know. I don't know.
game then.
Lack of confidence on his left foot.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about the guy that came on to replace him, who's
Well,
totally different to that. But
I want to do that now because the next two players who started were just world class today, I thought. But so let's talk about Greenwood first. Greenwood come on for Rashford and straight away made a difference out there on the right.
yeah,
His left foot, and his right foot, but his left foot, man, is just banging in it. The
I've
first,
said.
sorry,
No, go ahead.
one of the first things he done was he got the ball, stepped in his left foot and smashed it. I celebrated it hit the post. So, fuck, I thought it was in. I was just like straight away. It was the difference of I'm happy to take a shot with my left foot, so I'm going
Yeah,
to do it right away. It was just, and he set the tone because then the next time
yeah,
they're all shitting themselves, and he whips the left foot across in, and Cavani finishes it. What a
yeah.
ball! What a ball that was!
I've said for a couple of weeks, Greenwood's been our sharpest attacker for weeks, right? And he has looked our sharpest attacker. Now the thing was, he wasn't necessarily scoring, and it was kind of like, yeah, well, he's sharp, but he's getting the ball and he's always moving and everything else, but he wasn't scored. Over the last week or two, he's added goals. So he got the goal against Brighton.
Mm.
He's now got the goal today. Who
He
scored
scored
on?
against Granada, didn't he?
Did he? I can't. That's what I was trying. No, Rashford scored and Bruno scored.
Yeah, well, sorry.
Um, so, but when he came on today, it was just like chalk and cheese. And as I say, I'm judging Rashford on him playing with an injury and probably playing about 70%. Greenwood's apparently has a couple of niggles as well. Apparently that's why he didn't start. That's what Ollie said anyway at the start. But when he came on, it was just different gravy. He's so sharp and quick. He gets the ball like you say, first shot post, next one the cross. The thing is for a striker like Cavani, and I know we're going to talk about it, but for a striker like Cavani, and Van Nistelrooy used to say this all the time. He used to say he used to get fucked up, and this is why he fell out with Ronaldo. And there's a big fallout, and Van Nistelrooy ended up being sold. Was because Ronaldo would get the ball, would cut back, would do this, would do that, and wouldn't put the ball in. The difference being when Beckham was there, Beckham had the ball, put the ball in, and Van Nistelrooy's run, the defenders couldn't stop him. It's the same with Cavani.
Mm.
Cavani makes that movement, and if you get the ball into him first time, the defence can't keep it, can't stick with him because his movement's so good. And that's what Greenwood done. It's for that goal, just got boom, put it in, and Cavani's movement, the defence have no idea where he is, and he goes and he scores. So it was just delightful. I was pinpoint accuracy with it, and yeah, and then he took his goal, made his goal.
He's just
Pogba. We'll talk about Pogba in a bit. Pogba danced through. Your wee man Regulon just like he's away down the shop to get
yeah.
40 regal. He
It was
just went, I'm going that way, and he went, oh, and then, oh shit, no, he's away the other way, and he was just bump and smashed it in with the right foot. Some people question the keeper. I think it was hit with
hit it.
power, and you have to save it.
Hit it.
Yeah, you have to
Not
save it
many
from that
strikers hit
distance.
it as hard as Greenwood does, like. But yeah, you're right. It was
Yeah,
that little shimmy, regular
yeah.
movement, and he just went, whoop, see ya.
But like you say, that's because Regulon before had seen him go on the left foot twice.
Yeah.
So we're thinking he's going left. As he went that way, oh, and then he went, oh, fuck me, he's away. And he couldn't do anything about it. He was done. He was done a kipper, like.
All of a
But he was
sudden,
brilliant.
all of a sudden, it doesn't look too bad that we got our third choice left back instead of regular. But
Yeah, exactly.
um, so then, yeah, Greenwood was fantastic. I'd love to see him start on Thursday night.
But do you
Yeah,
want to see him start central or wide? I really like him wide.
that's what I was going to say. It's hard because I want to see Cavani again, but then he probably needs that rest because we've got
Yeah.
big games coming up. So, which
So
then you go into that old the style of play on Thursday. Do we just settle for 2-0?
no
I
fuck.
don't think we ever should do that. But who do you play then? Can Cavani get a rest? He probably does and play Greenwood through the middle maybe.
Yeah, but then you need Rashford on the rest. It's difficult because I know what you're saying. I love to see Greenwood on the right. I think he's brilliant down there. I think he wants to develop in that centre striker and he has the movement for it. The difference being at the minute, if he's not playing right and you've got Rashford who's struggling on the left because of the injury and not full tilt, you're not getting the ball in the middle. You know what I mean? So then you're not getting the best of him at the minute. Whereas if he's down the right, he's providing and he's doing all that sort of thing and looks a lot sharper in terms of being able to create chances as well. So it's a tricky one. And we'll come on to Thursday night after, but in terms of we'll move on to Cavani. In terms of Cavani, for me, this is a tricky. I'd said to you after Thursday night because he didn't look too. He came on, and the match before against Brighton, wasn't it? He wasn't great, and there were people going. I said he needs about 2 or 3 games to get to his best,
Mm.
right? And that's shown today. That's what he's had a game and a half, 2 games, and he's coming into today, and he looks so much better. His wee touches off, his movement, the game was there, and it was just brilliant. And you're like, there he is, that's him. But the problem is now if you keep him fit. So and I just don't know what to do with him. Whether he was worth the goal he scored, the first goal he scored that was ruled out was brilliant. The
Unbelievable.
movement, the finish, excellent,
It's just ridiculous, wasn't it? It's so
and
easy. He makes it look so
yeah,
easy.
so easy. And then the header he scored was brilliant. I mean, it was just beautiful header, beautiful placement, excellent. And then turning on the other side, what he did at the other end when
Mm.
Pogba decided he wanted to put one in the net was back, which was a real weird decision. But Cavani's header to put it on the post, unbelievable. And he gave everything. He was running 95th minute. If you watch it, he is screaming at boys. He's doing the press. He actually won a header. It went past the Spurs player and went in the middle of the park, and he ran ahead of all the United players. There was close ones, and he was closest to the ball, and he's screaming at the rest of them, and that was great. I love to see it. So he was brilliant today. I just don't know whether he play him Thursday. I don't know whether he needs the rest or whether he keep him going. I just don't know.
Yeah, no, I really don't have much to add to that because you hit the nail on the head on every aspect. The first 5 or 10 minutes, I did message you and I was just like, "What is he doing?" Like, he gave it away a couple of times, didn't he? And I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
"Oh, he's gonna have another game like that." But then he just turned it on, and he was just everything he done was exceptional. It was interesting to see that after the match, Mourinho, that's olden days. Solskjaer had said, "Look, we are having conversations with him. I feel for Cavani because we've all lived through a hard year in this pandemic. He's had one season here, but he hasn't been able to experience Manchester, experience England, experience Old Trafford with fans. He is thinking about going home, yes." So Solskjaer's fully admitted it. He said, "I've had these conversations with him. We'd like him to stay. Part of him wants to stay, but because of all those factors,
It's yeah.
he's unsure. So, but he's still undecided. So they're waiting to see what happens, really."
Before the match, right? And there was stories that came out saying this, and Solskjaer saying that that Cavani wasn't sure, and I was thinking I'm going to speak to you today and say like he can fuck off if he's not sure he doesn't want to stay. I don't want him here. And then Solskjaer, let me finish. And then Solskjaer explained that, and he went, actually, when you explain it like that, he
Mm.
can't have his family over. He can't go and interact with other players and go to their houses. He can't go out and do anything. He's came to a new country and he's got to experience nothing other than being stuck in his house. And he doesn't speak English, so he's just learning that. It all adds up. And you're kind of going, actually,
Do you
that's very
remember
difficult.
Do you remember? It must have been earlier in the season, when the lockdown wasn't so strict. There was like a free weekend, and he posted pictures
Yes,
of himself up in the Peak District. And
yeah,
it's like that when you look at his career, you look at his Instagram, and I think that's what he likes to do. When he has his
yeah,
free time, he likes to go and explore and see places. That's been completely taken away from him. And it's not like you or I who can sneak out and you know what I mean. I can go out somewhere and go for a run that's 50 miles away from here. No one's going to question it. But he
yeah.
can't do that. He can't just sneak out and go and do little bits and pieces like the rest of us do. But yeah, I feel for him. I really do because, and like Oscar said, and like you've just said, you're playing at Old Trafford with 76,000 people. You want your wife, you want your cousins, your brothers, you want them to come and see that, so you're getting them corporate tickets. He can't do any of that. He can't share
Yeah.
the experience, and then he can't get to know his teammates. Like, yeah, I agree with everything. Yeah, I'll feel for him. I really hope. if it gets locked or if it gets lifted, that he has a month or two here with what it's going to be really like, and then maybe that will change
And
the
the,
game.
the other thing to throw into that people forget is that we signed Cavani and Pelisteri, who
Mm-hmm.
was the other Uruguayan, and it was sort of seen as them two would come in and could at least be a support mechanism for each other. Cavani could help incorporate Pelisteri, in terms of getting used to playing at a big club, blah blah blah. But then we loaned him out.
Mm.
He's went out on loan, so and I don't know what interaction he could have had before that with the lockdown and all. But he's gone on loan to Spain now, so that sort of rules that one out of the equation as well. So I do feel for him now. I'm struggling to know. I think I'd want to keep him. I think if we got rid of Martial and bought a Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the problem then goes back to, is he going to be happy? But if you get Champions League and he's playing even Champions League, it's hard to know. Would he be happy with that bit part role in? So it's a tricky one, and we'll see how it plays out. I hope that the chat about it sort of dwindles off, and he just plays the way he played today to the rest of the season. If he
Aye.
plays like after the rest of the season, we have a chance of winning the league and winning the Europa League.
You can't see, but his tongue's out. Um, yeah, no, I want him to finish the season strong, and then no matter what he decides, I want the decision to be made early, so we know, like
Yeah,
last day of the season, that he's gone or that he's staying. So
I
it's
think the
not.
thing is, no matter what, he stays or goes, we're buying a striker. I'm confident. I'm pretty sure we're looking at buying a striker anyway. So, but let's wait and see.
Or do we play Jesse Lingard as a striker? Not for now. Not for
Not
now.
for now. Yeah, yeah, we can get on that in a minute. But
Right, Paul Pogba, mate.
mate,
I'm gonna put this out there.
go
I've seen him play two world class games for us where he's absolutely been phenomenal. The Man City game, both were 2 seconds.
second half.
The Man City game when we were 2-0 down, and he absolutely grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck. I think
Yep,
he scored the first goal. He might have scored two in that game, but he was
he
phenomenal.
scored two. Scored
We went
two.
on to win.
Smalling scored the winner.
Yeah, and then today, I thought his second
Yep.
half today was excellent. Apart from the one he's tried to catch the keeper out, right? He's tried to be fair.
Yeah, yeah.
Fair enough.
Fucking
I
smart.
think he would have beat the keeper, but he didn't see that Dyer was as close as he was. No excuses. He should be swinging on that. Solskjaer said that he's going to talk to him about it. But apart from that, I
He,
thought he
he,
was world class today, and that's
yeah.
the bug we need. But that's him playing on the left with the freedom, and then
Mm.
dropping into the middle, popping up on the right, running in here. He was just everywhere. He didn't have to be held in a certain position, and I thought, yeah, he was exceptional.
No, he was, and there's a couple of things there in what you said. Ollie did speak to him about it already. If you've seen the highlights at the end of the match, he was actually talking to him about it, and he was like saying to him, "Why did you not turn and hit it? What are you flicking it for?" And they were having a chat, and sort of, there's a chat about it. And the funny thing is, see, if it was Pep Guardiola doing that, be fucking plastered everywhere. Oh, look at Pep's this brilliant, best manager in the fucking world. Fuck off. Ollie was doing it, and having the conversation with him, and he's right to do it. He was trying to be smart.
What was Pogba's reaction to the
They
conversation?
were just chatting, and he went, yeah, yeah. He was like this. You could see one, just thought, So he's trying to explain it, which is fine.
Phenomenal.
They're talking out. If we hadn't have won, it would have been a bigger issue. But because we won, it wasn't. And the fact of the matter was, the main part of the reason why I won was because Paul Pogba came out at half time. It was like Ollie went up to Pogba and said, "Do you remember Jose Mourinho's their manager? Do you remember that cunt?" And he went, "Oh yeah, let's show him." And it was a massive fuck you, Jose, to him, because he absolutely ran that game in the second half. He took it. It was like you say, the Man City game. He did the same, but it was an old school and not in the same sort of player style, but it was an old school Roy Keane. This is our match now. This is my match. Take it by a scruff of the neck, and I'm going to drag my team to the win here. And that's what he done. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was exceptional.
Yeah, it was
So,
brilliant. And if that's the Paul Pogba I want to have at my club
oh yeah,
all the time, all the time.
100%. And if
Which then it takes away from what I texted you earlier about Jesse Lingard and the way I would play if we brought him back, because that would have Pogba in more of a strict role, which is where he's not. He needs to be that free role up there, doesn't he? And if he plays him beside Fred or McTominay, he could be that free role. But then you're relying on people to cover for him. So Fernandez to drop back, Rashford to drop back,
yes,
Fernandez
yes.
to drop back, whoever's playing on those wide positions to drop back. And I don't know if we're a disciplined team, enough team to do that. So it'll be
Well,
interesting to see where Pogba plays now these next couple of weeks.
that's the thing. So there's a couple of things funny. Paddy McAvoy texted me whenever Pogba did that flick, and he said if Pogba had done that flick playing for Lindsay Ross, he'd have been taken off, which made me laugh because it probably would have fucking been a shout of no fucking flicks. Um, But your thing on Jesse Lingard, you said to me, you'd sent me a message, sack off the top three, put
Wait,
Jesse
wait,
up
wait, wait,
there.
wait, wait, wait. Put this into
Oh, oh,
perspective.
oh, oh.
This is after he scored his 2 goals for West
Two
Ham.
goals for West Ham. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you text me this. You said for us, sack off the top three, put as in playing three at the top of the pitch. Put Jesse up there with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who we hope will buy. Bruno in front of a diamond, Rashford left, and Sancho right, who obviously would need to buy, and Pogba at the base. And when I read it, it was like, tell you what, that's a sexy looking team, like. But it's the defensive bit, which is
Yeah.
then you need to concern yourself with. But I have to say, I'm very quickly to touch on again. Pogba for me, tough for man of the match, by the way, but probably up there. Him, Cavani, probably up there for man of the match for me, and Fred second half maybe. Um, but Jesse Lingard at the minute on the form, we'll keep talking about him on the form that he has. There we'll have to be seriously thinking about it. We'll have to seriously think: is he one we can bring back and keep playing that way? If we do start something different and think about what we're at, because if we're on, if we're late, if we what am I trying to say? If the world of football is what it's led to believe it is, in terms of they're all struggling for money and they don't have the big finance that they had, then we have a player there who we don't have to spend any money on, who's just who can come back to us. And if we can play him and he's playing as well as that, you have to think about it. You have to just take a minute and think about it. Not I'm not 100% on if we do it, but
I'm still
it definitely
leaning.
needs some thinking
I'm still leaning towards more of using him as a player
for the
that
race.
gets. Well, maybe Rice, maybe Calvert Lewin.
Well, yeah, oh, yeah,
Because
okay, yeah, you never saw that, yeah,
the thing about Lingard is he's when he was playing his best for us, he was playing at 10. We started trying to
yeah,
put him out in the wing. He needs to be someone who the ball goes through all the time. He's not very good on the wing.
yeah.
He needs to be played through the middle, whether it be as a false nine, a striker, an out and out striker, because that's he was playing as a striker today for West Ham. Um, he needs to play every game and needs to play through the middle. He's not going to get that at United. So we will then hope that this Jesse Lingard turns up for the last 10 minutes on a Champions League night or a
Yeah.
horrible wet night in Burnley, and that's not the Jesse Lingard you're going to get.
No,
It's not. So,
no.
and don't get me wrong, I'm loving what he's doing. I've always been a big fan of his. But if we could say, here you go, here's a 30 million, maybe even a 40 million pound player. Look what he done at West Ham last year.
Yeah.
Everton will give you 40 million plus Lingard. Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
It's tough. It's tough. It's one that we have to think about. It's one that we have to think about and make that decision. I agree with you. If we're not bringing it back and starting him, then there's no point because he's not the same player. So,
That's it.
but all in all, to wrap that game up today, I just think I suppose I've said it a number of times. First half brutal, second half brilliant. VAR's a load of fucking shite. So
We could just
and
throw
and
that away.
and
We
and
wouldn't have had to spend
and
41 minutes.
and Jose, go fuck yourself. You can't.
That's my favourite.
Also, funny, Paddy McAvoy texted me at half time saying we need to get a plane booked and get open the gates up the hill, get a plane booked, and all of us turn up there because there's quite a few we wanted to fight at half time. I think from the whole Spurs team.
Yeah, I'd
But
probably
anyway,
get as many same field boys there as well because I can't protect Curtis on my own.
yeah. Anyway, predictions. You got it right. Well done, dickhead. 3-1.
That'll be
Yeah,
3 points to T Dog.
yeah. It's not looking good. Not looking good.
It's well, it is. It
For
won't be
you.
looking. It won't be looking good whenever Kerry's down there with a video, and you're getting in the sea.
Anyway,
Right,
Thursday night.
Thursday night. Yeah, look, I don't want to spend too long on it because we've done about 43 minutes here already. Um, Professional job. I think we should go out, get a goal, and just protect it. Then we get 3 goals. They're not going to score 3 against us, so that's what I'd be doing. It's going to be tough. This is the problem because we don't have Shaw, we don't have Maguire, and we don't have McTominay. So straight away you're like, shit. We might not have Rashford. Do we rest Cavani? There's a lot of decisions to be made. But one thing's for sure, we need to go out there and get a goal. We can't rely on a 2-0's not enough lead.
Yeah, I agree. We definitely need a goal. Actually, one of the issues that'll impact this game if he's not fit is Dan James.
Mm.
Um, because with him being out, that sort of puts pressure on having to play. Cavani, Greenwood, maybe Rashford. You know what I mean? You're sort of left short of numbers. For me, Donny comes in. You'll have Mata maybe playing. You could put Mata right, Greenwood through the middle, and then it depends if James is fit. James goes down the left. But again, are you taking too much of a risk? How many do you change? Because you're already going to have, like you say, Shaw's going to be out, so Telly's is in, Maguire's out, so Bailly comes in, McTominay's out. So is he going to play Matic? Is he going to play Fred and Pogba? It'll be interesting to see what
I
he
think what you
does.
should do is go Fred. I think okay for my team would be okay. You can give De Gea another start. Don't have a problem with that. Tellez, Lindelof, Bailly, Wan-Bissaka.
Mm.
I'm going Fred, Matic. I'm putting Pogba on the left again. I might even put a Mata and let Fernandez have a break, or I'm putting Van de Beek and let Fernandez have a break, and
Oh yeah,
then
I think
and
Fernandez
then
gets a break.
and then put Mata on the right, and
Yeah.
then you can have either Greenwood or Cavani up top. I'd probably go Greenwood. So
The only thing is,
but you're
it's
playing some decent players there still, and I like
yeah.
that. And it's not about pace against these boys because they're not going to come too
No,
far. Saying that, that's how
that
we scored the Rashford goal, but it'll be about breaking them down. I think.
that's where Mata can play. That's where it might suit Mata to play. But
That's what I'm saying.
it's going to. I'm almost contradicting myself because I hate it when we change because I just don't think we have the quality to make that amount of changes. But then when you're 2-0 up, you should think you should have that quality. Automatically, we have to change three because of suspensions, so that plays a part as well. And then do you say, and you're right, Pogba on the left could well work, which allows you to rest Rashford, and then Matter on the right, and you put Greenwood through the middle. So it'll just depend on who's actually fit in terms of if James is fit, if Greenwood apparently has a couple of niggles, if he's okay, if Cavani, if you need to rest him or not. There's a lot of ifs and buts on it, which is annoying. But 2-0 up, I think we should have enough to go and beat them 2-0 again for me.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. Prediction?
2-0.
All right, that was pretty obvious. You did set it up for that, didn't
Fuck me.
you? They might be pretty open. Do I want to say? I won't go 3-0. I'll go 1-0. 1-0 United.
Pussy.
Yeah, that's fine, no, mate. But you say I'm a pussy. It's 11-3, so you've got a long way to
Fuck.
catch up on me, bro. But, mate, all in all, what a game. What a terrible 45 minutes. What an unbelievable 45 minutes. Let's just hope for more of the same. My biggest bet is, and what we should touch on, is 7 points above Leicester, 8 points above West Ham, 9 points above Chelsea. We just need to keep getting that gap because not historically, but in recent years, we've never capitalised on teams around us when they're dropping points. Leicester have dropped points the last 2 weeks, and we've picked the points up. We don't
Well,
normally do
mate,
that, so I think that is a testament to us taking a step in the right direction. And yeah, we're still doing well, and we just need to solidify that position.
yeah, and mate, I posted a thing on Facebook and Twitter earlier. We picture of Jim Carrey. So you're telling me there's a chance when you look at the league. So, like, you got to dare to dream in these scenarios. We've got a game in hand, which would put us, what is it, 8 points behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they were to lose again, they play Chelsea. Leeds showed how to do it. 10 men yesterday. That's how you beat them. So if their focus is elsewhere, I'm dreaming, and I'm allowed to dream because I'm a football fan, and that's what you do. The reality of City's situation is their whole season could capitulate in the next 2 weeks. They play Chelsea, they play Dortmund, they play Spurs. If they were to get at Chelsea in the FA Cup, and then Chelsea in the league as well at some point, if they were to lose to Chelsea in the FA Cup to go out of that, if they were to, and this is all big ifs because City are good, but once they lose one, you kind of go, ooh, is there a chance? And if they were then to lose to Spurs in the cup final, which I can't say because Spurs are fucking awful, I'll let them have that cup. And then Dortmund get back at them, and then they were losing the league. All of a sudden, if you could get that down to 5 points and put a bit of pressure on them, I just want to believe. I just
It's a
want to
big
believe we could
ask,
do it.
mate. It's a big ask.
I know it's a big ask, and I'm dreaming.
But
And the reality is, if I'm being serious about it with a serious head on and 100%, just what I think will happen, I think they'll just bounce back and win every game until the end of the season.
I preferred what you said the first time because I could have finished with saying on that bombshell, but now you've ruined it. But anyway,
Sorry, I ruined that for you.
I'll see us out then, bro.
Right, well, look, as you say, great game in the end. Great second 45 minutes. Yeah, it just goes to show Oleg's the man, Jose's a fucking fraud. Time you're done, son. Pack your bags, go back to Portugal. And that bombshell. Good night, good luck. I will speak to you Thursday. And as always, let's remain brothers united.
Good night, everyone.